lid. The first way to get to that bomb and to that elixir is we've got to speak truth to power. We're so afraid of truth because truth hurts when it's being applied to the area of infection. You don't want to deal with it, but the truth hurts, making you face the you of you and the me of me. Sometimes you've just got to stand in the mirror and say, this is it. No, I didn't do anything to deserve it. No, it's not fair, but it's necessary for ministry. God, I can't get no help. There are some things we go through that have got to happen so you can help somebody else. God, I feel you creeping up on me like Linwood. Some stuff has got to happen because you'll never be able to help anybody until you've been there. You're no good until you know what it's like to have been hurt. You're not effective to the Savior until you know what it's like to have been thrown away. Yes, until you've been molested. Yes, until you've done stuff from what happened to you that led you into other lifestyles that were not productive. We just didn't drink the liquor because it tasted good. We were trying to dull the pain that we felt. We just didn't smoke the joint because we wanted to be high. We wanted to silence the voices that reminded us of everything we've been through. We didn't take the sleeping pill so we could get a good night's sleep. Some of us wanted an eternal rest from hurting and from pain. We got folks that's so silly and superficial, trying to get the sharpest outfit and learn how to do the latest riff and the latest runs and come into church at 11:15 because it started at 11 and you want somebody to look at you. You got a self-esteem problem too. In the book of the book of Solomon, Song of Solomon tonight, chapter number 2 and verse 15, there's one verse that we're going to read, and it says, take for us the foxes, the little foxes that spoil the vines, for our vines have tender grapes. Solomon is a poet. We know several things about him, and I hasten to get through it because I want to get to just a few points, and then we'll be out of your way. But Solomon was a poet. He was a lover, 300 wives and 700 concubines he had. And when he wrote that book of poetry, Song of Solomon, often theologians have surmised that he was just talking about romantic love, but rather I beg to differ with them. He was talking about the love that we ought to have for Christ and the love that Christ has for us. And I asked the Lord, why would he say, catch for us the little foxes? You've got to understand that full-grown foxes will only eat the produce of the grape, but the little foxes are too big to reach just the grape. They want the grape, but they're too little to get to the grape, so they eat the vine. God, I can't get no help. And what happens is the little foxes in our lives eat up the vine that produced the grape. You won't hear what I'm saying. And what we've done is spent time talking about we don't need to smoke and we don't need to drink and we don't need to have premarital sex and we don't need to do this, that, and the other. All the things that folk can see. You know, the surface sins. Y'all don't want to talk about it. You know, the surface sins and talk about the gossip. But you don't want to deal with the little foxes in your life. I've come to talk to you tonight for a moment about a few little foxes. First of all, we've got to identify them. This play did a good job of identifying the little foxes, but if you'll give me just a moment, I want to talk into your spirit about the little foxes that we've got to identify.